Live. Good. Well, hopefully some people will come on today. Be good. But if not, they can catch me later. You know, goodness knows I've got enough videos for everybody to watch. This is my 82nd, I think. I got a lot of videos. Anyway, today I've actually decided to restart a kind of a mini series about spiritual psychology, and this time it's about both the spirit people learning something new and us learning something new. Although a lot of people that I know have been doing this for years now, but that's basically learning how to communicate from the physical to the spirit and from the spirit to the physical. And for a lot of people, I think the reason why they have such difficulty is because they're not really completely aware, or they haven't really learned, how it's done properly. Because basically all you're basically doing is just sending energy from the physical to the spirit and the spirit to the physical. That's basically all you're doing. It's just that it's what we do with the energy. That's what allows communication. Okay. Now for us in the physical, it's quite. Well, I can't say it's simple because it's not, but the different kind of devices that we have. Okay, whether it's a ghost box, spirit box, EVP recorder, voice recorder, camera, like a night vision camera, whatever. All these different devices that paranormal investigators use to communicate with. Okay, these devices are amazing. They're a lot of fun to use, but the one thing that you really need to really employ is, first of all, a real open mind. Okay, that's mandatory. But second of all, you've got to be a very, very good listener, especially when it comes to, for example, on the spirit box. Okay, you hear voices coming through. Even I've heard that, But you see, the thing is that a spirit person, okay, the level of the frequency that they communicate at, and the level of the frequency that the radio stations use, well, their energy basically piggybacks. Okay, so when the signal goes through for the radio station, okay, well, the spirit's energy piggybacks, so it basically goes in the same direction, and sometimes the message doesn't always go through very clearly, because you see, the spirit people, they need to learn how to communicate on the kind of frequency that we understand. And we need to be very good listeners, and so that, you see, when you listen to the ghost box or Frank's box, whatever you want to call it, and what you're actually hearing is a combination of a radio station band, okay, and the spirit person talking, okay. Well, because there's so much noise, okay, that's what you call white noise. There's so much noise, it's hard to discern a spirit person talking from a radio station. That's what I mean. You got to be a very good listener. You got to know what to listen for and what not to listen for. Okay, that's the education that we need on this side. Okay, and I know some people that are incredibly good listeners. Okay, the people the team that I'm part of, SWYPT, and also White Rose, they are incredibly good listeners. Okay, they can pick up stuff like that. Like they usually what they'll get is either a very partial sentence, or they'll get words, okay, coming through. But then because they've been doing this for so many years, and that they know what to listen for and what not to listen for. Okay, well, for people that are new in this area, That's one thing you got to learn is, first of all, you got to learn how an AM radio works. Okay, you got to learn how the frequencies work, how the bands work. Okay, and then once you understand how the radio works, then when you start hearing spirit people talking through, okay, you'll think, okay, that's got to be a spirit person because it's at a slightly different frequency than of the radio. Okay, that's little things like that you got to pick up on. Okay, because myself, I'm still learning in that and all that kind of stuff, but because I don't do it very often, and that I can say my team, the team that I work with, are far better at it than I am. I depend on just well, whenever I get an audible, I depend on my guide, and that. See, I don't really get that much exposure to equipment. Okay, although I do have some pretty amazing EVPs on my phone, but that's about it. And that's something else too is even when you get EVPs. Okay, well that's another video that I have on my YouTube channel. But anyway, when it comes to us, we got to learn how to communicate using our technologies, and like I said, using the ghost box, and that knowing how to listen and what to listen for. Okay, now if you're a professional, okay, you know what to listen for, you know what not to listen for. You can basically ignore the radio station and focus on what the spirit person has to say. Okay, people that do that and that are professionals, and I work with professionals. And that now, when it comes to other equipments, okay, well, it depends. I think it depends on the strength of the signal and the clarity, and that, because don't forget that it takes a lot of energy for a spirit person to send a signal like energy through the AM band. Okay, it does take a fair amount of energy, and so they may come up with one or two, maybe a few words, then all of a sudden they stop. It doesn't mean that they backed off. It just means that they ran out of energy and they got to restore their energy. And that is basically all it is. But some people are so strong-willed in the spirit world that they have so much energy that they can carry a sentence and that more than once, maybe a couple of times before they're completely knackered. Okay, that's normal. But the information we get is absolutely incredible, especially if we research it. So anyway, when it comes to a spirit person, on the other hand, okay, well, the way they communicate, okay, is so much different from the way we communicate. As I stated in my video on Wednesday, and we got body language, we got the voice box. Okay, we got all these great tools at our disposal, and that spirit person no longer has that. Okay, they no longer the only time you can actually see hand gestures if you see a full apparition, and that takes a lot of energy. So basically, for you to be able to see them do hand gestures and stuff like that, that's rare. Okay, because like I said, they don't have the physical body, don't have a voice box anymore. So basically, they have to rely on energy in order to communicate. And if they're new to the spirit world, if they've only been in the spirit world for a very short period of time, okay, let's say they just recently passed, and that they need to learn how to communicate with us, and of course the way they do that basically is, you see, when a person enters the spirit world, okay, they have to go through a time of rest and restoration, okay, to kind of spiritually recharge before going on to the next phase, which is the instruction part. Well, it's during the instruction part that they're told and shown how to manipulate energy. Okay, they're shown and they're taught how to recharge themselves to build the energy back up. But then they're taught how to manipulate the energy and use the energy to communicate. Because see, the angelic love, they know that people that are new in the spirit world, that they still want to communicate with loved ones, okay, but they need to learn how, okay, which takes time and that. But I know for some people, they're fresh out of the physical body, they're in the spirit body now, they're anxious to tell their loved ones, hey, I'm just fine, I feel great, but they can't. Why? Because they haven't learned, and also they need extra energy. So a lot of times, whenever, if anybody, people will vouch for this, I think, is when a spirit person leaves the physical body, and they did very briefly come back, and they don't do anything, they just stand there, and then all of a sudden you notice a change in the temperature in the air. Okay, well, heat is energy. You take the heat out, you take the energy out, you get a cold spot. Okay, well, that's a spirit person just basically just making a very, very brief appearance saying, I'm here. Well, the trouble is no one sees them. All they can feel is the cold spot. But that only lasts just for a couple of seconds and it's gone. So then, and because a lot of people, they don't understand the phenomena behind that. See, they don't want to, see, for people that are new to this, okay, especially when it comes to having loved ones that visit, but they're not aware of it, okay, that's when it's always a good idea for the person that just lost a loved one to inquire through a medium or whatever, and that, to find out, okay, did my relative pop in just to say goodbye or whatever, because I experienced a cold spot. It doesn't hurt to ask, okay? Of course, there could be other reasons why you got the cold spot, but that's a possibility, okay? A lot of people would vouch for that they think, oh, that's cold, okay? It could be a relative just standing there saying, I'm here, but only for a few seconds and it's gone. So anyway, that's probably one possibility. But after the spirit person has been in the spirit world for a certain length of time, they learn how to build up their energy, but they have to start out small. Okay, like you can't come back and all of a sudden be able to move a chair or move a plate or something like that. That takes a huge amount of energy. Okay, they got to start. As I said in the stream on Wednesday, just like when it comes to a baby, and that they've got to learn to walk before they can run, or better yet, they got to learn to crawl before they can walk. Okay, well, in the spirit world, that person has to start taking baby steps. Okay, start moving tiny little things like a penny or a small marble. Okay, so if someone wants to try an experiment and they have a That's fine, Tanka. If you just want to listen, that's fine. Yeah, that's good. Bless you. And see, if people want to try an experiment, if they think that they got a spirit person in the house, relative or whatever, and that I'm not sure how long they've been in the spirit for, but what they can do is they can leave maybe a marble on a table and say, okay, if you're here, okay, I'll check again tomorrow. Can you move that marble even just an inch? Okay, but you gotta make sure that the table is perfectly level. Okay, or if they can, put a penny on the table and get them to move it an inch. Now try that, because at least that's a way of communication. And because it's a small item, it doesn't take as much energy in order to do so. Or if you got a person that is strong-willed, then they got, a good amount of energy to them, and they can manipulate it. Now I saw this on a TV show once. I think it was Rescue Mediums, that they took a little bit of baby powder, put it on a table, especially in an area where a loved one used to hang around a lot. Put a little bit of baby powder on it, and say, okay, whoever the spirit person is, okay, I want you to do is take your finger and run it through the powder, or even just move it if you can. Okay, come back the next day and see if the powder has been disturbed, and see if there could be a fingerprint or a finger line. and that any kind of manipulation of the powder, okay, well, that would be a sign that that person's around, okay. And it doesn't really take that much energy either. It takes it does take energy, but not a huge amount. But if you got a person that's really, really strong-willed and they're building up their energy, quite a bit, then they can actually start moving small pieces of furniture a little bit, like knocking a chair, or even one of their favorites, moving a door a little bit, or turning on a light. If it's easy enough for them to do so, at least that way, when people learn, spirit people learn how to manipulate energy, they can actually start moving physical objects, not a lot, not big stuff, and that, but like doors moving, or one of my favorite, and that they might have enough energy in order to manifest sound, like footsteps, and that. Okay, that takes energy as well. Doesn't take much energy, but it does take it. And I know a lot of people have experienced, footsteps, cold spots, doors opening and closing, sometimes lights, flickering or whatever, going on and off. If it's an easy FC, if it's a rocket switch, and that. So when that kind of stuff happens, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Oh, there's something bad in my house. No, it just means that you've got a loved one in the house, or someone that you knew in the house. All they're trying to do is just say, "I'm here," and that. But the funny part is, sometimes they do it intentionally, but sometimes they do it not intentionally. Especially if you had a relative, okay, they used to love to go to the kitchen in the middle of the night to get something to eat, and especially that last piece of chocolate cake, or or a turkey sandwich or something like that. That's the stuff that they used to love doing in memory. Okay, well, what they would basically do is go into the kitchen, open up the cupboard door a little bit. But they go try to open up the fridge, and because the fridge is either on a latch or it's magnetic, okay, that would take a huge amount of energy, because, like if a physical person struggles a little bit to open up a fridge, how do you think how a spirit person would feel? They'd have a hard time getting that kind of thing open. Hey, Marilyn. But when it comes to, open up a cupboard, or try to move a teacup or a plate, not take it out, but just make noises like the spirit person is trying to grab a cup, or trying to grab a plate. Okay, you hear that tinkling noise. Okay, with the cupboard open. Okay, no, you haven't got a poltergeist or anything evil in the house. All it is your relative has gone into the kitchen to grab a late night snack, even though they can't eat it or anything like that anymore. But they can still do it in memory, okay? They're basically reenacting what they did when they were alive, okay? Because they enjoyed it so much. And for other people, okay, now Stephanie, I think, is actually vouch for this, was that for some people, they go into the kitchen, get a late night snack, go into the living room, and watch a little bit of the telly, okay? But turning the TV on, they've experienced that. No, the TV is not defective, or it's not a demon in that crap. All it is a relative, okay, in memory, and that turn the TV on to watch TV while having the late night snack. Okay, that's the thing that they remember doing, that they love doing so much. They don't mean it to scare anybody or to disturb anybody. They're just doing it because they enjoyed it. Or for other people, okay, they go down and they think, oh, I can't sleep, or I'm hungry, and then I'm gonna have a smoke. Okay, whether it's a cigar, pipe, cigarette, whatever. Okay, well, people would say that they when they go into a certain room, they smell what smells like either tobacco from a pipe, tobacco from a cigar, tobacco from a cigarette, whatever. Okay, well, that's being done in memory. And that, and sure, it takes a fair amount of energy in order to manifest a smell and that. But if they're a strong-willed person, if they enjoy doing that so much, okay, they enjoy doing it in life, and they want to continue doing it. Why? Because they loved it. They enjoyed it. Especially for those who go into the kitchen, get a late night snack, go into the living room, turn on the telly, watch TV, and then smoke a pipe. You know, from what I've been told, a lot of people in spirit love doing that. They don't do it physically, but they do it in memory. And so that way they're not trying to communicate with anybody, they're just relaxing. So anyway, people, like I said, I just wanted to share with you about how physical people, we need to learn how to communicate with spirit people. And we also need to learn how to use the tools that are at our disposal, especially with the spirit box, what to listen for. But also spirit people, they need to learn how to communicate too, because they don't have a physical body or a voice box anymore. So they need to learn how to manipulate energy and that. But it's not such a hard idea for them to go into a house, whatever energy they have, and blow it all in 1 second to say, oh, I'm going to push a chair and then I'm out of there. To me, that wouldn't make any sense. You push a chair, you scare the people in the house. And they wouldn't want to communicate with you if you're going to make that kind of ruckus. That's why it's always good to be subtle. Move small things. Just try to get their attention without scaring them. Unfortunately, some homeowners or relatives, they get scared anyway because they don't understand it yet. But once they do understand what the spirit person is trying to do, it goes from being a frightening thing to a fascinating thing. And that's when they want to learn, okay, I got a spirit person in the house. I need to learn how to communicate with them as they are trying to learn how to communicate with me. So it's a lifelong learning thing. But once there's communication, I swear you could yak for hours. Especially if you got the aid of a medium, and they can channel. That's when it gets really, really in depth. So, and speaking of that, Derek and Stephanie and Kelly, I believe they've got quite a bit going on this weekend. I think it's ghost hunting tomorrow. And I'm not sure what he's doing on Sunday. He might be doing the readings. I'm not 100% certain. He might be doing ghost hunting instead. I'm not 100% sure. But they've got the film crew out, I think, this weekend. So I strongly recommend, if you're not a member of the SWYPT Group, which is Southwest Yorkshire Paranormal Team, okay, if you're not a part of that group, I highly encourage you to join the group. And also because it's not just a group that we're part of, we're not just a group, we're a family. And whenever new people come on board, that's a new family member. We'd love to have you. The same as Derek Green Psychic Medium. Okay, that group, we'd love to have you. Okay, because we like to help people with their spiritual issues, with their spiritual lives, readings, all that good stuff. Plus our sister group, White Rose Paranormal Investigators, okay, another professional team. Okay, they'd love to have you as well. Okay, so, and I'll put a link to all these groups in the description below, along with that live stream that I did on Wednesday. Okay, I'll put a link for that in there too as well for you to watch over and enjoy. And I tried not to make today's stream identical from Wednesdays. At least I try not to. That way, you might learn something new, like I do, and so. Anyway, people, I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your support. And for those who have not seen the stream yet, okay, I really, really appreciate you liking this video, share the stream, and also subscribe to the channel. That way I can continue to bring up more live streams and such. And very, very soon, I might be doing a live stream on TikTok once I get enough followers, because I need 1,000 followers in order to do that on TikTok. But I'm looking forward to doing that as well. And that. So anyway, like I said, I'll put a link in the description below when it comes to all the groups that's involved. And hope to see new people in the group. Love to have you. Okay, so my next stream will be Monday. And that. And what the topic is for next week, I haven't got a clue. My guide hasn't told me yet. So anyway, people, bless you for joining me. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you for joining. God bless you. And I'll see you on Monday using the SWYPT page, and the link to that will be in the description below as well. Okay, so God bless you all. Thank you for the support and for your time. Yeah. Yep, and yep, the wife is doing amazing. Yeah, we're doing amazing. Mackie's doing amazing. Oh, and Tinker, I noticed that you saw my latest video, my latest video that I recorded of the room right here. And that there's more stuffed animals to come. We got three or four garbage bags full of stuffed animals in storage. And someday we'll put them up on the shelves as well. This place is going to feel more like a zoo. So anyway, God bless, love and light. I'll see you guys. Well, bless you, Tinker. God bless you. That's Tinker Johnson from America. She's a very active member of SWYPT, a very gifted light worker, and I'm proud to know her. She is amazing, and I love her to bits. And then just like Marilyn. So anyway, talk to you later.